Here we have a triangle ABC. The measure of one of the sides BC is given as 26 centimeters. Angle A is 75, B is 45. The sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degrees, which means angle C is going to be 60 degrees. Now, what else is given? Inscribed inside this triangle is a semicircle with center at O and diameter DE. Not only that, our DE is going to be parallel to BC, and there are 3 points of contact between the semicircle and the triangle. We have D, we have E, and let me name this point as N. What we need to find is the measure of the radius, the measure of the line segment ON. Now BC is the only other line segment whose measurement we know. We know that BC is 26 centimeters. So what we are going to do is express this BC in terms of R and then equate it to 26. For that, let me start by drawing a perpendicular from D to BC and let me call it K. Then this DONK is going to be a square of side R units. Can you tell me why that is so? Here we know that K is perpendicular. That is how we have drawn it. It is 90 degrees. Now ON is a radius, BN is a tangent. They meet each other at right angles. Now we know that DE and BC are parallel to one another, which means what? They make the same angle with the transversal. If you take ON as the transversal, you will see that two parallel lines make the same angle. So here angle O is also a 90 degrees. We have a quadrilateral. Sum of the angles is 360 degrees. We already have a 270, which means this angle is also going to be a 90 degrees. Now what you have here is a rectangle with any quadrilateral with 4 right angles. With all right angles is going to be a rectangle, not at a square. How do we know that it is a square? OD and ON are both the radius. So you have an R here, an R here, and in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So you have an R here, an R here, or in other words, DONK is a square. Similarly, if from this point, if I were to draw a perpendicular, let me name it M, then it becomes MEON. What about this quadrilateral? This will also be a square by the same way. You can prove it the same way. We have drawn a perpendicular, so you have a right angle here, radius and tangent, again a right angle. Then these two lines are parallel, so again a right angle. Proceed the same way, so we get this is also a square. So this NM is also going to be R units. Now we have to concentrate on these two parts here. Now let us concentrate on finding what this part, what this BK is. Look at the triangle BDK. What do you know about the angles? K is a 90 degrees. B we know was 45 degrees. So what is the third angle? That is also going to be 45 degrees. So it is a special angle. It is a 45, 45, 90 angle, which means what? The ratio of the opposite sides. With this angle, whatever the opposite sides come, they will be in the ratio 1:1 root 2. Now, do we know the measure of any of the sides of this triangle? We know that DK is R centimeter, but then DK is the side opposite to angle B, or in other words, the side opposite to one of the 45 degrees. So that means opposite to one of the 45 degrees, you have an R, then this is also going to be an R, and this is going to be R root 2. What do we need? We need this measurement, which is opposite to the another 45, which means here again you have an R. Now let us move to the final triangle. Now we come to the last and the final bit. We need to find what this MC is. But then what sort of a triangle is this MEC? We know one of the angles here is 90 degrees. This is 60 degrees. Then the last angle is going to be what? It is going to be 30. So it is a special triangle. It is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. That means the opposite sides will be in the ratio 1 is to root 3 is to 2, which means opposite to 30 for sum A, opposite to 60 you will get root 3A, opposite to 90 you will get a 2A. Do we know the measurement of any of the sides? We know that opposite to 60 we have an R. Here we have an R. If root 3A is equal to R, then what is A? It is R by root 3. And what is the angle we need? We need the one opposite to the 30 degrees. Here, this is what we need. And we just found that out to be R by root 3. So this part, the last bit is going to be what? It is going to be R by root 3. Now what we have to do is equate 26 to the sum of all of this, which is 3R plus R by root 3. Now I think we can leave it just like this, but then if we rationalize the denominator, we will get a 26. So that is very tempting. Let us try that out. So this is the answer that we were looking for. The radius of our semicircle is going to be 9 minus root 3. That is all for today. Take care. Salam alaikum.